Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Smile. I'm your host, Dr. Amber Q, and today I've been thinking about how lucky all of us are. Yes, not just me, but you as well, because we're living in not just an era of AI, but just the fact that we've been blessed with social media. It really means that the world is so much smaller than it ever was. And it means that our brains, our bodies are not now held hostage to the rubbish that we have been fed. And I mean figuratively as well as metaphorically and literally speaking. Oh, my voice is sounding sort of husky. I'm not sure why. But the thing is that there's so many amazing scientists all over the world and so many brilliant doctors and health companies or startups in the USA. I particularly love Levels, which unfortunately isn't available in the UK as yet. I think they were planning to come to the UK and I was really excited about that, but that appears to have been shelved at the moment. And I was listening to a podcast episode, which I haven't actually had a chance to listen to the full episode, with Andrew Huberman and Dr. Casey, can't remember her surname, but the founder of Levels. And if you are in the USA, and I know that I have some wonderful listeners in the States, I would get Levels. If you're able to afford it, I would get it. It is incredible. And really, it's all about resetting your metabolic health so that you can have metabolic flexibility, re-energize your body by sort of, I guess, jump-starting your mitochondria and just living a better and healthier life. And, it's a better quality of life. It's not just about longevity. So honestly, I'm not an affiliate or, I have no affiliation with Levels, but honestly, I would join it if you can. And I just feel that, honestly, we're so blessed. I was looking at a few things today online, and I was just thinking, my gosh, it's incredible, isn't it? The shift that we're going through in the world. I mean, obviously, we have the genocide occurring and a lot of masks have fallen off with that. And again, Gen Z doing a wonderful, wonderful job. I think the protests now have spread to London, to the UK, and to other parts of Europe, which I think I mentioned last week. And so why are we so lucky? We're lucky because in this era of technology, there's so many things that we can do. And I feel in one way that the world is regressing, but quite, I don't know how to say this, but quite beautifully in a sense. Now, what do I mean by that? I think really it is that because the masks have slipped off, we are seeing a bit of an awakening. And that awakening is happening globally, and people are looking at the ethics of brands. They're looking at, I think, their lifestyles and their perceptions of things. And this is one of the reasons that many people have embraced Islam. I don't actually know the figures, but I saw something where they were saying that since the genocide started, thousands, this sort of article that I was seeing was talking actually literally about France alone and how many hundreds and thousands of people had embraced Islam there. I think it was France. But the point is that I guess that, we're progressing in terms of AI and technology, but we're regressing in terrible ways in terms of the genocide in Gaza. But then I say that, but of course things have been terrible for the Palestinians for the past 80 years. And it's just that technology, social media, has enabled us to see this. So we're not believing the lies that we've been fed. And equally, we're not believing all the lies that we've been fed in terms of our health as well and finances. And I say that with a pinch of salt because lots of people still don't realise it is very difficult because we are surrounded by so many pollutants and chemicals in the air that we breathe, in the detergents that we use on our dishes, in our washing machines, or laundry, as the Americans like to say. So I don't know. So it is, and of course all the media that we consume. So I think it is a difficult battle, but I think it's one worth fighting. So I wonder, do you feel that you have woken up, I don't know, either more recently or in the last 6 months or even prior to that, in terms of any aspect in your life, whether it is the genocide, your health, your education, your faith, and just your mental health, possibly, because the systems are failing us and there is a new and a better way, but we just have to, I guess, unlearn things and embrace the uncertainty of looking at new possibilities. And I think that's really important to speak about, because I do think we're lucky because we didn't have a choice before. We had to believe what the mainstream media said. We had to believe sort of the doctor when they gave us certain pills. And obviously medical schools churn out dentists, doctors, or dental schools churn out dentists and medics in a certain way, don't they? So certain schools of thought, but there are other ways as well. And lifestyle factors, affect us, in its entirety in terms of our physical, emotional and mental health. And obviously this affects our oral health. And of course, all the research now is showing that oral health affects all aspects of one's body. So basically, everything that we consume is affecting us, whether we're consuming that materially, as ingesting a substance or drinking a substance, or ingesting something on a mental, emotional level with media, traditional media or through social media. And of course, whatever we're drinking as well. And I've mentioned, I think previously, about the effect that the world has on us, not just in terms of our physicality and our body and emotionally, but also spiritually. And I think so many people are feeling the pain of what's happening, which is why people are waking up. People have been forced to wake up because we've all known that there've been inequities, so many inequities in so many different industries, whether it's education, health. And I guess a lot of times immigrants try to maybe sort of sweep this under the carpet or think, okay, it's just an isolated incident, even though we know that it's not. And of course, now it's just at the forefront. And so many decent people are also just realizing that, that thin veneer that was over the globe, I don't know, it just seems to have been ripped off. We're seeing people, countries, governments for who they really are. And I think that this is just sparking a change. And it's wonderful, actually, because I think with Gen Z, they don't have the hang-ups of previous generations. And I think that's wonderful. And they're going to be the ones that change the world. But of course, they're going to be the ones that inherit the world as well. So all power to them. And I wonder, do you feel that the mask slipped off for you in any particular facet, whether it is health, knowing that a lot of the food that we eat is rubbish, is labelled incorrectly, that government guidelines aren't helpful in terms of mobility or your own activity, and just how the world is structured to the detriment of our physical, emotional and financial health. So don't know if anything has, if you've had a light bulb moment in any of those facets. Because I think, for me, that's certainly the case. And I've mentioned this before, that really I have changed forever. I've got so many things to think about, and to really, I guess, to kind of take action on various points, like one's own health or level of activity. I mean, I've always spoken about personal development, but now I think, and I've always spoken about personal responsibility for that, and having to, navigate that minefield of sort of marketing messages, because it is all about profit. And I think it's great because we are looking now at more ethical brands, and we recognize even more so the power that we have. And so I think, for myself, I need to apply that in my own life. And I wonder whether it's something that you feel that you are going to apply to your life as well. And of course, as I do this, I will share my journey. And I think it's just really interesting. I've always wanted to make a positive impact on the world. I've always known that I need to improve myself. And obviously, we all have our own sort of challenges and battles in life. And, I needed flexibility in my schedule for, particular reasons. And I think that, everything is changing. We're in just a time of so much uncertainty. And the only certainty that we can ever have is our own discipline over our own sort of reaction to things. So until the next episode, let's all create connection and not just change lives, but save lives, including our own as well as those of others. As always, please donate whatever you can to Gazans, and just look at any charitable institutions in your own country, because I know there are different organisations in Britain which also operate in different countries, like Human Appeal. And so let's just support our brothers and sisters in Islam and in humanity.